What's good, everyone? This is Rax with another VOD review, and today I am VOD reviewing one of our wins that happened. I think might have been maybe a week or two ago. Been a really long time. And so today we have me on Moon Knight, Jake on Venom, Blake or Nickel as Groot, and Mai as Luna Snow. So our team composition is Namor, Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow, Groot, Venom, and Moon Knight. And the opposing team is Bucky, Thor, Psylocke, Invisible Woman, Rocket Raccoon, and Venom. So starting off our defense,
you have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I was destroying this part because you can actually get to this level right up here much easier instead of just going around on the opening and doing that. But so right here I'm shooting down main because this is where they're coming from, and Blake is on high ground setting up walls and closing Venom off, which is actually really good, okay, because he's closing him off and make it difficult for his healers to go and heal him, while Jake is causing a distraction on the rest of the team, which is Venom's role as a whole. You cause a distraction and make the team keep an eye on you rather than this Venom right here. So that's a good job. Positioning wise for our supports, they're doing a good job as well, because they have eyesight of everybody that's down main, and they're also protected as well. So continuing, the Venom loses his bonus health that he gets from one of his abilities and has to retreat. Okay, and then he did a good job at retreating too, because once his ability bonus health goes down, his job is done. So he's back over here. Now we have a Psylocke flanking. Now the problem here is that Jake did not notice that the Psylocke was here, but our Namor did, and so they're attacking back here against the Psylocke, right? And so now Jake sees her, and now we're trying to, get a KO on her, right? And let me rewind a little bit. I think, yeah, this is kind of where we turn a little bit, which is a good idea for peeling and stuff, because we focus on her, and she took a great bit of health because of that as well. Okay, we possibly could have gotten the kill, but it is what it is. So now, even though we peeled and stuff, we kind of let them gain an advantage right here. And so in this scenario, what should have happened is that Groot should have peeled backwards, and Venom should have been on the front lines to keep them at bay. Okay, or actually I take that back, either way works, because Groot can poke them, set up walls, and still do that, and Venom can peel backwards, or Venom can stay on the front lines and Groot can peel backwards. Okay, but either way we still got it going a little bit. So now the Venom is on the back line, and so me and Blake are trying to shred him. Popped his ability. I see Psylocke coming, trying to avoid her as best I can. She's up there now. Okay, and so meanwhile, while that is happening, let's switch to Blake's perspective. His eyes are right back on the front line, which is good. Okay, and Jake is doing a good job at also being sneaky as well, because guess what, they don't have eyesight on him, and so he dies, and that is a really good dive in using Venom's surprise as a whole. Okay. And so because I'm with the backline, we can handle a little bit of the flanking because we have Namor, and we have me. So really and truthfully, Namor can do some of the flanking and get a kill on their backline because really and truthfully, he could honestly like go right here and get a kill on somebody since they're pressuring right here. Okay. And me, since I'm with the backline, I'm kind of the protector essentially because I can't 1v1 anybody. So I have to stay with somebody. Okay. So I'm consistently hitting. Now we got a kill on their Venom. And so now I instantly see that the Psylocke is back there trying to take a hit at our Cloak and Dagger. And so I make sure she can't do that by peeking a little bit. But now I turn my eyesight back on the front line. And Blake is doing a really good job at setting up walls on different angles. So for example, this is kind of a bad wall, but at the same time, he could have set up the darker wall right here and then set up a wood wall back here because it seems to me that the Psylocke loves to flank. Okay. And then the rest of the characters are mainly just frontlining. So their Thor comes in, taking a whole bunch of damage. Now their Bucky ults, right? In response, our Namor immediately avoids it, but we have Blake and our Cloak getting hit, right? So now his main, so right here, when Bucky does that in general, we should peel for those that get hit. And this is kind of a mistake on our Cloak and Dagger's part because he could have easily just went back here and we could have had a peel situation because we have to make sure that he doesn't basically get a reset, right?
I am ready.
So just in time though, Mai gets his ult and helps out. Now right there, the Cloak and Dagger didn't really need to do that because we still have an ult. Okay, we have a support ult going. And so I kill their Venom. Damage boosting is fine because we're at total health right here. Now we're unleashing and unloading. Blake got 2 kills right there. Their Bucky, their Thor, and their Venom I'm gone, and now I get a kill on their support. And their Psylocke is the only one left. Right. So now we technically won this fight. Okay. Fast forward a little bit. Yeah, we won this fight right here. Okay.
Surrender your strength.
So I see her trying to get right here, and I thought I had her, so I put the onk right there, but she immediately disappeared. And so I'm shooting down main again. They're taking a whole lot of damage. Blake blocks him off. Alright. But this time around, because of what happened, Blake, you were so far up that you got blocked off. And so you got stuck on the wall and you kind of didn't back up to the right. And so because of that damage boost also, you died. And I had ult too. So, and see right there, he should have just put it up. Well, you should have just put it up right there, even if nobody got blocked off, because they're forced to destroy it. Okay. And so Because of this, you got scared and you got stuck on the wall. Okay, which happens because it shows your point of view. You're looking at the wall, right? And so now I have no ult to combo with. Now, don't get me wrong. Jake ults to keep the battle in our favor, which is good because we killed the Thor. So 1 for 1 right now. And so I killed their Venom. So now it is 1 for 2 right now. And so how did he get frozen?
Us against the world.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, so right here, I didn't notice what was going on to the left. Well, to the right, actually. And so I killed, like I said, I killed their Venom. Which is what happened. So now we get a kill on their support. And I'm gonna replay that, actually.
I'll patch you up.
Oh my god. That's crazy. So he just randomly got poked right there by the Namor and stuff. And so I'm trying to see how he didn't use his ult though. Yeah, everybody saw you go that way. That was a really bad freaking... That's crazy, honestly. That was kind of just really predictable on that part of this Psylocke right here though. Because he dashed and everybody saw. And so, because you have Jake and Mai just straight up attack, and everybody saw it. They both saw that. So it's just like, that was just, in that case, you should have just did it as a retreating option instead of just going that way. But either way, back to the thing. So I get a kill on their other support. And so now it's just their Bucky left. So now we're technically winning this. Okay. We won another fight. Okay. And they killed their staggering Bucky. So that's actually pretty good. We actually totally won that fight. So now me and Blake have our win condition. That Bucky was unsuccessful. I mean, the Venom was unsuccessful. So I poked him a little bit. Got an assist on that one. So right here, she didn't have to jump in and do it. She could have just did it on the point, and everybody could have just walked in. Right? That's one thing with Sue in general. You can just basically put it right there. And you don't have to be in it technically, right? So she didn't have to jump in and do it. Okay? But I try to do damage because obviously, you know, damage is damage regardless in this scenario. And so now, Blake ults, and I ult too, right? And so the craziest thing is that Namor got a kill on the Bucky and the Psylocke, and I blew through her support ult. And I think I died to Rocket too, I think. Yeah, see, their Rocket just got stuck. And so I died trying to ult right here. And I got force pushed. And I tried to, so okay. So basically just a rundown. So Blake ulted, which was a really good ult right here because you stop her in place, she can't go anywhere, and really and truthfully, the Namor could have just basically just killed her also. So basically, he put up a wall that's already damaged right there. Then the Namor puts up a, just could have comboed the whole team right there and just killed him, right? And so, but instead he gets a kill on their 2 DPS while I basically kind of finished the rest, which is also really good. But at the same time, with that, so I called my ult and I got force pushed out of the boundary. Okay. And so because of that, Thor is attacking the back line, and he got a flank on us, okay, which is how he set that up, okay. But at the same time, he's the only one left now, so everybody just kind of just pounced on him and killed him, okay, which is kind of funny. So all in all, it was really just a 1-6 trade right there, and that's still good in our favor because we won. It's a shame that I died though, but you know, it is what it is, okay. So right now, I think this is where they kind of split up, I think, and I'm coming back, I want to say. And so now she ults after holding it, right? And so what happens here is that she ults and the Bucky ults, right? And so now you got Blake lived through that because of the bubble, and our cloak and dagger got out, but Mai didn't, and so he died in the process, right? Which is understandable. So Jake swings back to help out, which is actually pretty good. He's peeling back, and so he's also gaining heals from our cloak and dagger, which is actually pretty good. And so we're still fighting up, right? Don't get me wrong, thing just kind of just came in and stuff. So now with both of our supports dead and stuff, I die to her, which is stupid, and Jake dies. And so that's kind of how they won that, essentially. And so what could have happened better there is so let's rewind. What could have happened better there as a whole is that I mainly stayed up here for high ground because they're pushing, right? So I could have either went back here or stayed up there. It don't matter. But at the same time, the only way this happened is because Blake went out of position, okay? Because with being a tank, not only do you have to make space, but you also can't let the space be invaded. Because even though their tanks are not up at the front, their DPS just kind of just walked in and just let that happen. And so it wasn't on Jake, because Jake is a diving tank. He's supposed to create a distraction, right? But Blake, you on the other hand, you went forward. Now what you could have did differently was put up a wall right there and just left that alone. And so you should have focused on the front line as a whole, right? And Jake does what Venom does best, is create a distraction, which is basically whipping through right here to force to basically cut off the support. Because guess what, they're staggered still because their thing is just now coming and their Venom is out of position and their Sue already used the cooldown, okay? And so in this scenario, with me being dead, it should have been a passive moment rather than just being aggressive right there. Because you could have easily set up a wall. And so now you see them coming and then boom, that's space invaded when you could have just set up a wall right there, right? And so now you got two people coming in and now you got reset. Now that is how we ultimately lost that fight. Okay. Yeah. So either way, it's fine. It happens.
I like the color.
And so he just going in. Like, he doesn't even care about the rest of his team. He don't care that the team is all the way back there. He just going in, right? And so now we come in after dealing. Now that's what I'm saying with Moon Knight. He has to play back with his team. Namor can just go on the flank and just do whatever he wants, right? But Moon Knight itself, he has to play with the team. Now if he sets up the flank, he has to be paired with somebody, okay? Because his cooldowns are long and he barely has any escape options, okay? And so with that being said, with us handling the thing and whatnot, and him creating distraction, that created the team from not pushing up, and the thing was just left by himself. And so I hop on, I hop on Blake's walls right there, and that was kind of cool for a little bit. So I'm shooting down main because that is basically his role. So if we get a kill on their thing again, right? And so I unleash my ult again. Kill.
You need their power.
Nice. Both killed their support. One of them. And the Venom. Got a kill on their DPS.
Disappear!
Now, that was insane. Okay? Because they were popped up, and he tried to combo off of that crap. Okay, and that was, and I'm surprised it didn't hit, which is crazy. I need to see what happened. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Let me see third person. Oh, so they must have had more airtime. Okay, but anyways, that would have been insane. So they had to use ult, right? Because they almost died. And so that's a good thing that he's swinging away, pushing back. Now, right there, that was really like a waste of an ult. Because they really didn't gain any value from it, right?
I am ready to.
And so now, they're Bucky ulted. And we ult in response. Okay? So now, damage boost, healing again, shooting, Venom dies. Hold up.
Do your worst.
So right here, y'all are creating a bunch of distractions.
Never miss.
And so this is where you kind of push up too far, because like I said with Groot, you want to poke, not be melee. Okay? Because that was up too far, because Bucky, all he has to do is just pull you, you're stunned and you died. Basically is what happened. Venom is a different story. Okay, because he can dive in, get pulled, stay in there for a little bit, then pop his ability, then swing back out. Groot doesn't have that, so you have to be careful on what happens. So this was a little bit too far for you, Blake, as a whole. And you see how he just swung out? Blake, you don't have that. You don't have an ability to get out. So you die, and so now we're, you die, but at the same time, I get a kill off of the Venom pop-up, right? And so now the Venom is back on our backline and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of in the... So right here, I was kind of like in the opening, and I could not have stayed right there. So I quickly zipped up and tried to retreat. And somehow I got killed right up there, which is crazy. Okay.
Only 60 seconds left.
Yeah, I somehow got killed in the back.
We've become vulnerable.
So Jake comes in to save our cloak. He's taking the brunt force of it.
Stop that vehicle! There's still a
Now, don't forget that this is a bad place to fight or to take a fight. But we also had ults to kind of force the fight. Now, if we don't have ults, I wouldn't say do it because this is a really bad choke point. And if they had a score girl, we would have taken a whole lot of damage for no reason. But they didn't, and at the same time, you took like I said, you took a whole lot of brunt force damage from Hawkeye. And so now Jake is trying to get out and we're still fighting in this area, so to speak. And that's why I said it's kind of hard to fight in that area. And so before we, you know, take a fight in this area, we have to make sure we can at least stop them with enough space to where we can contest them. And so our cloak kind of wasted ult right there.
Be a good time to stop them.
Protect your king. You're ours now.
So, like I said, Jay gets pulled in, but like I said, he can swing around and get away. And so, because I noticed that he's creating a distraction, they're more so focused on dealing with him than dealing with us, because the only person that's dealing with us is the Strange. Everybody else has their eyes on him. So, we need to help Jake, right? So what do?
They hit a check.
As he's swinging, and I see that, hey, the rocket put up the infinite ammo,
Now might be a good
just
time to
called the
stop
whole ult on everybody. And guess what? The, hold up. Because of this, the Doctor Strange was taking so much damage
them. Now might be a good
that he had to get away and died because of it. And
time
I basically killed everybody that just, you know, went back in there. Right? So now we had a Venom that stagger. We killed the stagger Venom. And we actually got a team wipe, which is actually really, really awesome, right? So now we're pushing in their spawn, which is good, actually.
And I see ally awakened.
And so their Doctor Strange just bulldozes in front of everybody. Okay. Which is crazy because they didn't even, like, do much. Okay? Which is the problem because with bulldozing, you literally have a Groot that is being pocketed by the Cloak and Dagger, and the Cloak and Dagger didn't even like they didn't even attack her at all whatsoever. And then now you got Jake coming in, and so now the Doctor Strange is just ulting for no reason. And I avoided that too, which is crazy. Now don't get me wrong, the support killed the support, but at the same time they ain't even bother trying to like focus on what was in front. Because honestly, Blake, you should have died for being that up close and stuff. Like, let's be honest. But they didn't. And so you gotta, yeah.
Again.
Did he kill me?
Again.
I think he did kill me. I think he did kill me.
Again.
Yeah, he did kill me. And then, yeah, since everybody's just pushed up here, pushed up here and stuff, yeah. And that was honestly a good, okay, this is funny because you almost walled him off, but you saved him at the same time, which is weird as fuck. And so, I don't even know, like, that was kind of just crazy as hell. Like, I didn't even notice this looking back. Like, the Bucky was all by himself technically, and so then he's like, ooh, a support, and so you wall him off to protect himself, to protect Mai, and then which worked actually, which is crazy because you literally had enough space for them to crawl out of, and so it was just crazy. Like, I think that's funny.
50 seconds left.
And so their Bucky's dead, everybody else is coming back, pushed back because Venom's pushing the car. I think I'm dead, and our Namor is dead, so we don't have no DPS. And so basically at this point, with no DPS, this is where the tanks and the support kind of push back because we don't have damage, basically. Yeah, we may have won the fight and stuff, but at the same time, there's no DPS whatsoever. And so both you, Blake, and Jake died. And so now they're pushing the cart again, and Mai's running away and stuff. So now everybody is basically technically back, but now we don't have no tank. And so now we're dealing with a Venom in our faces. Alright? So most of these fights we could have won with just
It's now or never.
fixing a little bit, like pushing back and stuff, like knowing when to push back, basically. And so now our tanks are back. You walled off that point, which is good. They had to destroy it, right? And so, ooh, that was a miss, Namor. But Jake is back on the back line, which is good. That was a miss swing. What he could have did was just web zip to that wall and just swim back to us instead of just web zipping there. But I don't know what the heck
The final 10 seconds.
that dude is doing. That's a no-no. But again, he wasn't in our stack that night. But that's a no-no. Don't do that.
Don't give them another
And the reason why is because a DPS can easily kill a support.
for us. You'll have to
So we're holding it. Our cloak and dagger comes back.
disappear.
Now we got a Luna. I mean, a invisible woman ult. I get a kill on their support, but I also die in the same time. My ults to save you guys, which is good. Y'all are holding it. That's dangerous. That's still good. My got 2 kills. Yeah, that's how we won that. Which is definitely good. Okay, so now I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
We need a top-notch team to win
Oops.
this one.
Okay. So we're sticking with the same composition.
Got it?
They switched from...
think I could handle the pressure of the dark.
They switched to Magneto this time. Hiding behind Groot. That's a good wall. To get us at least an idea of who is where. Okay. So, now this is where we discussed, like, on high ground, right? So, the reason why I'm on this ledge right here is because there was a Hawkeye right there. And he was low. And the Namor almost got him, but he just kind of misplaced his turrets, okay? Which is understandable. But it forces the Hawkeye to retreat, right? So now we got a Punisher on high ground as well, okay? So that was a bad spot to put infinite ammo. Well, it's not, but at the same time, the Punisher should have just came frontline stuff. But it is what it is. But with this playstyle right here, it forces the infinite ammo to stay in a circle. Okay, and so this is why, like, I say that when something forces them to group up and stuff, I go Moon Knight. And so, shredding through a little bit. Now, Hawkeye gets our Namor. So now we have a kind of like a Hawkeye problem. Now we have a Hawkeye problem going in. Okay, because oh, and this is where Blake disconnected, which is okay, because we still won. Right? So the Hawkeye is kind of pressuring a little bit. He has to back up because he pushed too hard, but he gets a kill on basically our support, and their Bucky gets a kill on me, right? So Blake comes back and stuff. I have my ult, I think. Now this is where I find this super duper cool. Okay. You set up a wall, which is good. So now I have my ult, right?
I am ready to put on a
That's a good ult. In response. Dies. Okay, so this is where this is a good ult, because guess what? So right here, I comboed with Jake on this, and because of the pop-up, they're a little bit immobile, right? So basically, it caught everybody in that circle, right? Now don't get me wrong, it's not like Gru ult, but it's as long as they're still like immobile and stuff, I'ma do it. Because guess what? It took the Punisher and the Magneto forever to get back down, right? And so it was a good idea to ult then. And so because of that, no maneuverability, right? So then boom, right? That's 3 gone. So now we're 6v3, right? And so we have a support ult. We okay, so right there, instead of getting like cutting the Hawkeye off, we should have killed him right there. Don't get me wrong, we killed the oh, we did, never mind. So yeah, we killed everybody that staggered, which is actually pretty dope. Okay.
help get that vehicle to its destination.
So we quickly won that compared to them. And so the Magneto was staggered, and so I was trying to attack the Magneto because he was just sitting right there, right? I jumped out trying to get out,
Judge, jury, executioner.
and he instantly aimed for mine and stuff.
Vulnerable than ever.
This is real firepower.
So they ulted, they got infinite ammo. Somehow she got pulled in from that far, which is kind of crazy. And you got headshotted, which is understandable. And I got killed by Magneto, so now we kind of just staggered a little bit. But that is still okay. And Jake died. And Namor, yeah, so we're staggering a little bit, okay, which is fine.
I have become vulnerable.
That Hawkeye is kind of just like tearing us a little bit.
And dangerous.
I somehow died. Okay, so right here, I was hiding behind this cover, and I didn't think that the bullets would hit me. Because somehow, when I was taking cover, like, look, somehow they just hit me. Okay, which is really, really stupid.
Never miss.
And so right there, everybody should have attacked the Bucky right there. Because he used his ult and nobody targeted him. Okay. And then he took on Jake like he was like a hero or something and just walked away scot-free.
Protect your king. Welcome to the dark force.
And so you got headshotted again. Our cloak ults. Wait. Okay. So Jake is causing a distraction. And because of this, where did he die at? Wait, where did he die at?
Us against the world.
Oh, he died in the cloak ult. But anyways, yeah. So the reason why, even though he was ulting, I still attacked him was because he was in the cloak ult, and so he had to go, right? So Jacob was creating a distraction. Our Cloak and Dagger ults in to help him out and provide support and stuff. This is where, Jake, you could have stayed in place because of the cloak supporting you a little bit. Yeah, so you could have stayed in that fight and kept actually going and stuff, and not basically just diving in and out, stuff like that. Hold up. How did we kill everybody right there? What the heck? Okay, so you dived. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. With the pop-up, they can't go anywhere much. And so, boom. That's a whole bunch of kills right there. Then I do my thing. And then, yeah. Don't get me wrong, the Bucky got a kill, but at the same time, we team wiped them. So, one for 6 trade. Okay. So right here again, we should play a little bit passive because even though we have an ult, we don't have a support. Okay.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
And like how I always tell you guys, wait for at least the other support to get to 50%, and then we use our ult. So that way we have another ult coming, right? So I'm on high ground. I'm retarded for still hitting that, for shooting. So that's my fault. That was a good block though. That was a good ult. Hold up. Yeah. So right here I have my ult. I get in vision. Boom, 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 boom. They're dead.
I seem to be
So now here comes, yup, damage boost.
Don't turn back now.
Putting on the pressure. Shooting, shooting, shooting. Jay got like 3 kills in that. It's crazy. Comes back. Now we got the point.
Keep up the momentum.
Okay, so this is kind of where... Okay. So when you use your passive...
Keep up the momentum.
Okay, wait. Okay, so that first swing right there... I don't know if you have automatic swing on, but what should have happened right here is that you... Hold up. When you got that kill, you should have... You web sling, right? So with Spider-Man and Venom, if you have auto swing off, you can just hit the whatchamacallit, I think the web swing button again, whatever you have it on. I think left shift, which is what I'm looking at, left shift, and then basically you will just fly basically a little bit, okay, instead of just kind of just staying the whole web swing through and stuff. Because what should have happened right here was that you should have let it go and just went in the door, because my was trying to heal you and stuff, right? And since you gained your heck, and or actually no, I take it back. Since that door opened, wait, did the door open?
Wow, 4 in a row.
Yeah, since the door opened, and you had basically 1 or 2 ways, right? Which is to go through that door or wait till that pulls down and then go through there. Diving back right here, that was a bad decision because you got hooked, and then yeah. Okay, so now we're down a tank again. Whoops.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Good block. I mean, not block. Good wall.
Armed and dangerous.
Nice peel back, which is good. Nice kill on the Star-Lord. Kill on the thing.
Jury. Executioner.
Yeah, right there we should have got out.
I like the cold.
I am Groot. Lights out. Any hit's gonna hurt.
You got a kill on the Hawkeye. Now that was a good support ult because I pushed the advantage with it. So now we got a kill on basically most of their team, right?
Shall deliver no his demise. Cleanse this place.
That was another kill.
Ashamed.
So they're down to support again.
This is your big chance.
And we won.
Final score: 3, 2.
But what the things to take away from that is when we're down characters or when we're down people, we should play passively instead of just being up and stuff, because a lot of the deaths could have been avoided from playing back a little bit more. But other than that, everybody did a good job in this match in particular, and I really enjoyed this match, and so I hope y'all learned a couple of things, and so see you in the next one.